Have you been watching what's unfolding in LA? Police are overwhelmed, looting even in broad daylight, traffic blockades, and more importantly, civilians caught off guard, people who have no stake in the game. And I hope you're looking at this because it is going to affect you. I'm going to make that very clear. And in fact, at the very end, I'm going to show you some vital information. I'm not kidding you. It's stuff you need to know about what's coming, not to LA, but to your neighborhood. And it's something that's going to be much worse than what we see in LA. Be ready. But first, I'm going to go through 5 absolute things you must take into effect now before that happens to be prepared, because that's what we do, right? Because everything we're seeing in LA is not just a headline. To preppers, it's a clear warning of what's coming, and we have to be prepared and ready for this. It's a wake-up call, a time to act. So what do we do as preppers? 5 things. Number 1, we need to create an emergency lockdown kit for your house. And I think most people on this channel already do this. Just have, a lot of people say 72 hours of supplies. I would say at the minimum a week. I think most people on this channel have like a year of supplies. But if you have a week's worth, you're great. Food and water, obviously. A radio to listen to what's going on, any essential medications, etc. We've talked about so many of these things on this channel, but you need to have this kit ready. Now, specifically, if we see these kind of people coming into your neighborhood, make sure you have at the ready things like a fire extinguisher, any type of self-defense weapons you might need. I mean, even if it's just simple pepper spray, go for it. Blackout shades, anything to make it look like your house is not going to be a target. Have this at the ready in case it comes near you. Number 2, and speaking of defense, have a defense plan. At the very least, reinforce your doors and windows to make it more difficult for them to come in. And don't misunderstand, if they want in, they're coming in. So you need to be able to protect yourself. Weapons is the key. Have drills for your family. Be ready for any and all contingencies, all things that might happen to you and your family. And that's number 3. Also have an escape plan. An escape plan from your house? Sure. An escape plan for your neighborhood? For sure. And we're looking at a couple different exits, and don't think roads are your best bet. A lot of times these people will travel down roads. No, I mean, cut through yards, fences. No, you know your neighborhood better than they do. So have ways to get out. Now, if it's specifically an area where you're going to see a lot of the crowds amassing, make sure your escape plan doesn't go in that direction. You usually see specific spots. And then even more so, if you have friends, family, maybe other people in your neighborhood who have the same situation, have a rally point somewhere away from all these problems that you can meet up. And that takes us to number 4, situational awareness, for sure. And there's lots of ways for this. And I'm not talking about simply just you being aware, even though that is 100% essential. But you can get police scanner apps on your phone, or actually have an old school scanner in your house. I love my old school scanner. Be able to watch the news, all those kind of things. Even maps and stuff so you can see what's happening as far as situational awareness, which direction they might go. But a really big one we're going to show you in a minute, and that takes us to our last point. But let's go to number 5. And that is practicing an escape route, both in day and night, by the way. I think 90% of preppers, not just regular people, but preppers, do not do this and practice and drill and train. And please don't think that prepping always costs money. It costs you nothing to walk through your neighborhood, find the best way out. It costs you nothing for that. You have to have an escape route from your home. But even more so, let's say you're shopping and you're in the parking lot of your favorite grocery store. Look at the escape routes from that grocery store. If you're in the grocery store or wherever you're at, know where the exits are. There's often, pretty much standard for fire codes, there's going to be an exit in the back that they don't let you do it. But if that store becomes infiltrated, that back exit is the way you're going to go. In fact, you'll often have employees follow you because they just kind of get that during the headlights look like, wait, what's happening here? Grab them by the neck and say, run, you fool, let's get out of here. You need to always look for exits, inside, outside, wherever you go. Okay, so here's the important thing you need to know. This is so important because when we see this, by the way, and this is not like, floating my own boat here, but I warned a couple weeks ago this was coming. I said this is coming. This is the next step. And I tried to look at geopolitically what's happening in the future that we have to prepare for. And I said, watch, this is coming, and here it is. So I try to keep everybody apprised what's coming, as of course I laugh. People say, you're a fearmonger. Really? And there it is right in front of us now. So here's one way you can stay ahead of this. Next week, actually it's this weekend specifically, on Saturday, which is Flag Day, June 14th, they're calling it a nationwide No Kings Day. Look at this. They even have a nice website for you and I to look at. Of course, they say in America we don't have kings. Of course not. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. And this is one of the ways in which they contact one another to see where events are coming. Guys, this is what's going on this Saturday, the 14th. And just to understand what's happening here, I'm going to kind of zoom into my area. Let's go up to beautiful Michigan. And we're out in the middle of nowhere. The nearest city is Mount Pleasant. Look at this. They're going to do this at a park, a city building? No, Myers. It's a grocery store. They're going to assemble in the parking lot of a grocery store. But I'll say it again, look in the United States, look up your area to make sure you're not caught off guard if they happen to have these things happening where you are going. And I will link this below for you. Make sure you click it. Over 1,500 locations this Saturday alone. But this is where the situational awareness comes from, because right now we're here. They're already calling for an escalation and an escalation and an escalation. And who knows how far this will go. I think it's going to go crazy, because how many years have we had foreign nationals, not just a mom and dad with kids, that's what they try to claim, coming in the United States, but absolute foreign nationals for this purpose alone? It's coming, and we have to be prepared. You and your family have to be ready, because, of course, my goal is to keep you safe as well as my family too. Put in the comments below, what have you heard about things going on in your area? But even more importantly, this is Goshen Prepping. What are you doing to prepare for that, to be ready? Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep safe, keep commenting, and we'll see you soon.